Welcome to the 2024 Economic Depression and Preparation Channel. I'm your host, Tony. Thank you for joining me on this Thursday, June 27, 2024 tonight. Just going to briefly talk about three issues. The job labor market, finding it hard to continue to find jobs, even though the unemployment rate hasn't gone up that much. And also the inflation that's continuing to rise or stay at a steady level. And first quarter GDP continues to be tepid or stagnant at worst as we head into this third quarter of this economy in July. Ladies and gentlemen, it's true that this economy is chugging along, but barely, okay? Americans are finding it harder to get a new job. This is according to CNN Business Report today. We're talking about a good paying job, not the jobs that, pay $10 to $15 or $20 an hour. We're talking about jobs that pay over $25, $30 an hour. Nationwide, and the Americans are finding it harder to get a new job. It seems like a lot of these companies are just collecting resume databases, and of course they are collecting resumes and other things because they know that it's a buyer's market. They have the upper hand. There's tons of people with master's degrees, doctorate degrees, 10, 20 years experience. There's tons of people with different certifications and stuff like that. So what sets the job seeker apart from these tons of people that with the same qualifications, both national and internationally speaking candidates here? And so you can see the number of Americans receiving jobless benefits for multiple weeks climbed to its highest level since November 2021, according to a Department of Labor report released Thursday. So the data is an indication that unemployed Americans may be having more trouble, quote, in landing work. And you know that to be a fact because I know many friends of mine have been looking for jobs for the last 6 months to a year and hadn't found anything steady, but contracting freelance stuff. And, even that's been kind of sporadic. And so Americans are taking longer to find jobs, even for new college graduates or whatever the case may be, those returning to work as retirees, than they have in the past. And this is not a good sign. Okay, last time we talked about what economy we have, we don't have a really strong economy. We don't have an economy at all. We've been in a recession since 2008. We've been in a double dip recession since 2020, before this pandemic, this COVID stuff happened. And so now we're looking at, significant slowdowns as well. Fed has kept interest rates at 23-year high as it waits for inflation to slow meaningfully. Now we get the inflation reports coming in tomorrow. CNBC says here, bigger Fed inflation reading coming Friday. Here's what to expect. They expect, excluding food and energy prices, the core PCE index expect to indicate its lowest reading since March 2021, the beginning of the pandemic. However, the inflation readings that are coming out at Friday at 8:30 a.m., I expect inflation to still be high, only going down 0.01%, but it's still very high, including food, energy, transportation, gas, and all of those are costs that normally housing costs. So that's what's going to get us is that housing costs is still high. Rental, whether you rent or own, is still high. Insurance costs are high for cars, houses, insuring, yourself. Health insurance has gone up every time you look up on your paycheck. Every year, health insurance has gone up arbitrarily on your benefit plans. So everything's going up, but paychecks are not going up in terms of nominal wages, in terms of what you actually take home every 2 weeks or every month. That is going to be a big problem with this U.S. economy that we have left. What's left of the economy, because we don't have an economy because we don't manufacture anything but debt, fast food, and car washes and storage units. Every time I look at it, there's a new storage place opening up, which is crazy. But this is what's going on in this country, and this is why it's going to be a slow climb, not a depression, but a slowdown that's happening in the next 2 years that could lead to a double dip recession coming up in 2025, 2026. See, first quarter GDP only grew at soft 1.4%, but the U.S. economy will have more spring in its step. This is according to MarketWatch.com report today at 10 o'clock. So GDP is forecast to accelerate to 2% in the second quarter, but you got to remember, in a healthy economy, GDP is pushing 4 or 5%. So we're not in a healthy economy with GDP only at 1.4 to 2%. This is indication of stagflation. This is indicating of a slowing economy, a slowing labor market, and definitely a slowing housing market. So the U.S. economy, quote, is still lingering inflation and high interest rates. It's still growing despite lingering inflation and high interest rate. The question of that is how long. The third-legged stool, the missing piece of that is the unemployment number. So unemployment may look good. It did rise to 4.1% last month, and it's continuing to rise. Continuing claims, as I just showed you, is continuing to rise. But what's going to be the backbreaker is that those who are still employed and good jobs, that their wages are not keeping up with inflation and that they're not getting any real wages. wages or will raises or any kind of perks. Hiring freezes could be coming back in the fall. I could see that after the elections or even before the elections. Hiring freezes with very companies, both public and private, that could be coming back in August, September, October. Look for that, okay? So, but just continue to prepare, and this is why we prepare, as best we can. You can't be prepared for every scenario. I'm not a doomsday prepper, but you got to have some type of plan to help mitigate the damages that are going to be increasing food, energy, transportation, water costs. And also there's going to be increasing burden on the cities and counties, townships, municipalities on the taxes. They're going to look for your bills, tax bills to increase, whether that's on property tax or and this is across the board in all 50 states. Look for that because they're going to be looking to make up on these shortfalls here from the federal government not giving all the aid and everything like that. So just be look out for that too as well. So anyway, take care. We'll see you on Friday. What numbers come out at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time over here. As far as inflation data, and we'll talk to you later on. God bless.